we recommend choosing a few of all the techniques that resonated with you the most. In order for these techniques to be most useful, it is necessary to first practice them in a state of rest or during stressful situations of low intensity. After choosing techniques, practice them for 5-14 days. Technique number 1 suggests using the fortress technique when you are filled with stress, anxiety, fear and do not have the opportunity to change the situation to restore calm. For example, you are in a bomb shelter. This technique can also be performed with children. To perform it, you need to have somewhere to draw paper, phone, etc. and what to draw with pencils, paints, chalk, etc. If it is not there, then your imagination is enough. Technique steps. 1. Take the most comfortable position possible, so that you are distracted by as few factors as possible. 2. If possible, close your eyes or choose a point where you can focus your attention and activate your imagination. 3. As soon as you feel that your imagination is ready to work, try to move to a place where there is a fortress that protects you from all dangers. This can be a real place or one created by you. Move yourself there as if you are in that place in body and soul, created by you. 4. Feel this place with all your senses. What do you see? What is this fortress? Describe it in detail. Thanks to what or whom does she protect you? Where are you in this fortress? What smells are there? Try to feel this place by touch. Feel the floor, touch some surface with your hands. What do you hear there? What is the temperature there? 5. Analyze what happens to you when you are in your fortress. What are your emotions? What are you thinking about? What are the sensations in the body? How safe do you feel in it from 0 to 10? 0 do not feel safe at all, 10 the greatest safety, complete peace. 6. If you don't feel safe in this fortress, try adding something to help you feel safe. Remember that everything is possible in your imagination. Perhaps there is not enough Captain America, who will stand guard. Or moats with sharks. Cannons, walls, a magic wand. Add everything that will allow you to feel safe. Magic wand. 7. Measure again how safe you feel when you are in this fortress from 0 to 10. When you feel safe enough, try to feel it in your body. Where is she located? How do you feel about it? If you do not feel safe in this fortress, repeat step 6, or try other techniques, egg breathing techniques or relaxation. 8. Transfer your fortress from your imagination to a piece of paper or to your device. Draw it in all possible details. 9. Whenever you encounter fear, anxiety, and a feeling of insecurity that you have no control over, move into your fortress and restore safety and calmness. You can always have an image of the fortress at hand, it will help you feel safe. Why does this technique work? Our brain does not distinguish between real and imaginary. Therefore, when you see a dream or imagine some event, your body's reaction is almost the same as if you were directly in that situation. And moving yourself into a fortress in your imagination allows you to feel calm and safe, or to reduce anxiety and a sense of danger. And the drawing process itself engages the parts of the brain that are responsible for structure and order and allows you to distract yourself from thoughts, emotions and the situation itself. Along with the fortress technique, we recommend using breathing techniques. Emotional state is closely related to our thinking and thoughts. And in stressful situations, we often have a large number of thoughts that bring unhelpful experiences. Technique number 2: recommend using time distancing techniques when you notice that you have a large number of thoughts that cause fear, anxiety. How it works: anxiety and stress increase when anxious thoughts run in circles in your head. These techniques teach you to control your attention and help you get rid of intrusive disturbing thoughts, thus reducing anxiety and stress levels. Tram equipment. Technique steps: every time you feel stressed and anxious, ask yourself the question, what am I thinking about right now? As soon as you notice thoughts that cause you stress and anxiety, name them. I have thoughts that. For example, I have thoughts that I will lose my job and will not be able to find a new one. Imagine a tram, and in your imagination plant these thoughts in it. The tram approaches the stop, but you don't get on it, but say to yourself, "This is not my tram," and watch it go on. You switch your attention to something useful and important for you here and now. If you do not switch your attention to an important and useful activity, it will be occupied again by those thoughts that you put in the tram. Each time the thoughts return, repeat the previous steps. Technique: time for experiences. The situation produces a lot of worries about the future, which cause stress and anxiety. If we fill our day with these worries, then we will not have time to resist the challenges of the present. Therefore, it is very important to allocate a limited amount of time for the experiences themselves and to act more to solve real challenges and problems. The process of experiencing itself does not solve what is happening in reality, it only takes away precious resources and energy. In order to take control of your anxious feelings, I recommend the following steps. Determine a specific time each day when you are free and can devote 15-30 minutes to your anxious experiences. At this time, you must devote all your attention and resources exclusively to experiencing. For example, 15 minutes when traveling in transport, not driving, or at home on the couch from 9:00 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. Postpone the experience. Whenever you notice an experience coming to you, say to yourself, "Stop, it's just a thought, I'm not going to get involved in it now, I'll be able to experience it at the appointed time." And you can write down what worries you so you don't forget. Switch your attention to the activity that is useful for you: a work task, a walk, a conversation, watching a movie, etc. If you do not shift your attention, the thoughts will continue to attack you. If they come back again, repeat the previous two steps. At this time, you can allow yourself to worry about what you put off for the allotted time. Importantly, if you forgot to worry at the scheduled time, postpone the time for worries to the next day. The timer technique is similar to the previous one, but has its own differences. To perform this technique, you will need to activate the timer for October 15th 20 minutes, as you decide for yourself. Before you start the timer, you need to come up with an activity that you will do immediately after the timer rings. It should be something simple and easy to do. For example, wash the dishes, go for a walk, etc. Once you start the timer, you'll need to allow yourself to sink into whatever emotions you normally try to avoid and feel ashamed of: anxiety, fear, self-pity, self-blame, resentment, helplessness, etc. Anything. Any emotion can fill you during the scheduled time. During this process, you do not scold yourself for these emotions and experiences, you do not criticize, you do not avoid them. You let them be and watch them like a spectator. Do not criticize. As soon as you hear the timer ring, go do the planned activity. Technique: desensitization and reprocessing. While eye movement Oksana Zaviteva recommends a universal technique that can be used with the help of a specialist in the field of mental health, psychologist, psychotherapist, and independently. It is used to reassess an unpleasant situation in the past, to change the attitude towards a person or an action, to process fears and unpleasant experiences. Technique steps: think of an unpleasant experience memory that you want to get rid of and rate it on a scale from 0 to 10, where 0 is complete indifference and 10 is the maximum possible strength of the experience/memory, how much it bothers you. Feel this experience in your body, exactly where you feel the unpleasant sensations. Imagine and describe what they are like. Remember if possible the words or sounds that accompanied you at the time of the formation of this experience. Imagine, observing the sensations in your body, what image picture of the situation appears before your eyes when you feel your experience. Now that you have detailed the unpleasant experience, fix it in your imagination and begin to move your eyes left/right. At the same time, tap yourself on the shoulders with your hands or hands on your hips crosswise, for 30 seconds. Observe the sensations in the body. Crosswise. After 30 seconds, re-evaluate the intensity of the experience on a scale from 0 to 10. How did your feelings change and what is your relationship to the situation now? The steps can be repeated several times to achieve the maximum possible result. The 5 elements technique helps to return to the here and now, to strengthen the connection with reality during times of stress. To get out of the influence of emotions and experiences, you need to ask yourself 5 consecutive groups of questions and answer them. What is the picture in front of your eyes? What do I see now? In this case, you need to describe the real visual image. If there is no such thing, focus your attention on the details to restore the completeness of the picture. What emotions do I feel now? What bodily sensations? Where are they in the body? How do they manifest? What thoughts are in my head right now? What am I thinking about? Thoughts may be hard to see, that's normal too. What is useful and important for me now? What can I do now that is useful and important for me? The cycle of questions can be repeated several times until you feel relief. Relaxation technique. Breathing 4-7-8. Place your tongue on the roof of your mouth, just behind your front teeth. You'll keep it here throughout the exercise. Breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 7 seconds. Exhale through your mouth for 8 seconds, allowing the exhalation to make a natural sound, as if you were blowing out a candle. Repeat until you feel calm. Over time, you can increase the time of holding and exhaling, but wisely. Calming technique. I spy on everything green. Scan the room for a green object. Say it out loud. If you don't know what the object is called, give it a name. Look carefully at its properties. Find the next green object and name it. Before moving on, compare it to the previous object. Is this one darker than the other? How are they different? If you run out of objects in the room, go outside. Keep naming things until you feel calmer. Technique for calming down. Draining negative thoughts into the pipeline. Bring your palms to the warm water, feel its temperature and focus on the sensations in your palms. What are they? Imagine your negative, sad or anxious thoughts flowing down the pipe with the water. Switch to cold water. Feel what has changed. What are the feelings? Return to warm water. What has changed? What are the feelings? Repeat until you feel calm. Expansion technique. Doctors recommend using it to accept emotions and feelings that bother you. Often, the struggle interferes with the natural process of fading emotions. Therefore, it is very important to accept them, allow them to flow and fade, so that these emotions and feelings do not force you to act in a way that is not beneficial or useful to you. Technique steps. Step 1. We observe. Scan your body from head to toe. What and where do you feel? Mark unpleasant sensations. For example, a lump in the throat or a feeling in the stomach, heaviness in the chest or tears coming. If there are several, choose the most unpleasant. Concentrate on it. Watch him. Be curious like a scientist about an interesting discovery. Note where it begins and where it ends. What shape is it? Is it on the surface of your body or inside it or both? How deep did it go? Where does it feel the strongest? And the weakest? Do you feel it differently in the center and from the edge? Do you feel pulsation, vibration? Is it strong or weak? Static or moving? Warm or cool? Step 2. We breathe. Take a few deep breaths. Notice how with each exhalation you completely empty your lungs. You should breathe deeply and slowly. This reduces tension in the body. Breathing will not take away your sensation, but it will create a center of peace within you. It can be compared to dropping an anchor in the middle of an emotional storm. The anchor won't stop the storm, but it will hold you in place and help you weather the storm. As you breathe slowly and deeply, imagine that you are exhaling directly into the center of your sensation. Imagine and feel how the breath envelops your sensation. How your breathing seems to create additional room to move for him. Step 3. Allow. Allow your feeling to be where it came from. Allow it to exist in peace, even if it is unpleasant for you. If your mind begins to comment on what is happening, just say thank you and return to observation. If there is a desire to get rid of it, to enter into a fight with it, then recognize this desire without succumbing to it. Nod, yes, I see you are here. And focus again on the feeling. Don't try to get rid of it, don't try to change anything. If it changes on its own, great. If not, that's fine too. Stay focused on the feeling until the urge to fight it subsides completely. This can take anywhere from a few seconds to a few minutes. Be patient and give yourself as much time as you need, because you are learning a very valuable skill. Continue the exercise until you feel that the struggle with emotions is over. There are two possible outcomes when using this technique: either your feelings change or they don't. But it doesn't matter at all, because her goal is not to change feelings, but to accept them, to stop fighting. Thank you very much for your attention. We hope that these techniques will be beneficial for self-regulation of your condition and will help you cope with stressful situations more easily.